Okay. So we have to dance? Okay.
I wanted to like really dance.
I think I'll laugh more than I'll dance.
Right. Yes. Right. Right. Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Sorry. A little bit of your limiting beliefs of the one to dance.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. Wow. What a day it's been. What a day it's been. Let me just give me 1 second. Let me just start the podcast as well. So, you tell me how your day was.
It's been a very busy day this morning, today. It's been a very busy day.
Vanakkam, Vandanam, and welcome to the last thing dance story. This is Special K, and I'm so honored and so grateful. Receive my heartfelt gratitude, Riaz. Thank you so much for coming on my show. I like to say so much thanks to Angel Akka for thank you so much to her. Whenever she watches this, I don't know. I'm just kind of dumbfounded for speech ever since our interaction has been. So thank you so much for coming, and here you are.
So thank you so much for welcoming me to the show and inviting me to speak. We had a very good session this morning, and I can see the difference in your in your smile and your shine.
Yeah, I went and I showered I think I put like I have already bathed once I put soap in. Then I don't know. So sometimes again I showered, and then again I think like 4 times I put soap over my body, and I just felt like okay, I need to just let it go. It was extremely an intuitive process. And let me tell you something truthfully. Okay, I'm a person who takes like shower once a day. Okay, I'm like a lazy person to shower. I only shower if there's something like I need to go out or stuff like that. And today, for me to just watch the water heal me was a very different transformative process. I want to thank you so much for that. All right. So, with your introduction, okay? So, Riaz, to people who don't know about you and who've not heard about you, would you introduce yourself, who you are, what you have done, and why you are doing what you are doing?
Okay. So, my name is Riaz Peter. I grew up in Malaysia. My mother is from Australia. My father is from Malaysia, of Indian background. I spent the first 20 years of my life growing up in Malaysia, and then I moved to Australia, where I did my education and studied. And after the education, I worked in the family business for a while. I lived in Malaysia, Singapore, moved to China for about 4.5 years. Worked in China, and after that, I moved back to Australia again, and I went into Melbourne Business School, and where I worked in the executive education, which is training senior leaders, business leaders, and in that process, I became very involved in coaching and enjoyed that interaction with people. And this is where it led me to find different ways of helping people deal with a lot of the issues that they face in their lives. Many people have certain beliefs or they do things in their life and things just don't work out. They see patterns of success and failures, and for some reason, they don't know what's triggering or driving these actions or these behaviors. And that's where I was very curious and started to study this process and went to different trainings, different seminars, different methods to learn how we can tap into a person's belief and thinking and how they relate to the past and how the past affects the present. And that's what we were doing in our session this morning.
What a powerful session it was. Literally, I think, I've done a lot of meditation, I've done a lot of yoga, but this was different on a whole different level because, I can't just kind of word it. I think you have to experience it yourself. It's very personalized, it's very deep. I think there's a lot of reflection going towards that person to actually, pick up what they need to see. So that's just glowing for me, right? So let's talk about RTT, right? Rapid transformation.
Yeah, transformation therapy. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. What is that?
Okay. So basically, rapid transformational therapy looks at the process is you first bring a person into a calm meditative state, or you can say into a state of hypnosis if you like. But I rather like the word. Many people have misconceptions of hypnosis. They think hypnosis is people controlling you. But did you ever feel controlled in the session today?
No, I mean, guided is a better word to use, perhaps. Yeah.
So it's more you put into a person a calm meditative state. So when we enter that state, our logical mind quietens down. Because when we think and want to solve our issue from a logical perspective, many of our problems are not logical. When you have a choice between emotion and logic, emotion always wins. For example, you go to buy a car. Here's a car that's red. It maybe costs $5,000 more. You like the color, you like the shape, the size. But here's another car which is $10,000 cheaper or $5,000 cheaper, and you go, which one wins?
I'm bad.
In most cases, our emotions win. And our emotions really drives a lot of our behavior and especially our decision-making power.
Okay.
So if you notice, if you want to question or check in on what drives your decision-making, observe yourself when you go out to buy something for yourself. Who is making the decision? Is it the adult Kartika, Dr. Kartika, or is it that young Kartika who's driving the decision?
Oh, wow.
And how we do something, especially with money, is really influenced by the emotions, the feelings about how we feel about ourselves. Okay, so in the session today, we went into that calm meditative state. So once someone is in that state and they're calm, the breathing is calm, the logical mind quietens down, and the subconscious kicks in. Okay, and then we went. Okay, so I said, Radhika, let's go to a time and place that is all to do with how, why, when money became an issue.
Yeah.
And just like magic, the subconscious mind takes us to powerful scenes of the past, images of the past. And so a belief is formed when you have an event, and there are thoughts that you create about the event. Then there are these strong feelings or emotions that we attach to the event.
The story we tell.
Basically, it's the story that we create around an event that drives that strong belief. And a belief is formed when we repeat a certain story, a movie, over and over in our head, and then it becomes almost like a program or an autopilot. Okay? So many things we do in our life is just on autopilot. So some of our decision, do we analyze our decision making every time? No, it's run by autopilot. So the beliefs we form about ourselves, our worthiness, is driven by these events in our life. So what we did today, we looked at certain events. What were the meaning you placed around a certain event? What were the words that were said to you? What were the words that uttered in at that point of time? And at that point of time, that 10-year-old or that 15-year-old or that 20-year-old creates certain beliefs about themselves. So I'll give you an example. I had a client who went to buy a burger with her dad. Her dad took the whole family to go and buy a burger. And when she went to buy the burger, the dad went in and he came out and he said, we're not having burger today. They said, why? He said, it's too expensive. And here is this young 5-year-old thinking, I really want a burger. It's not available to me. And the other belief she's saying is, am I worth nothing that even a burger my dad cannot buy for me? The dad buys other things for himself, but not for the young girl. He comes out with some food for himself, but not for the... So that young girl, looking at that scene, looking at that event, goes, I'm not enough. I'm not worthy of even a burger. And so guess what? 30, 40 years later, as she drives past a burger place, she has to go and get a burger. Her subconscious mind is going, you need a burger. Why? Your burger is related to your self-worth. And when you get a burger and you buy a burger and you can buy this with your own money, your self-worth is increased. And so a simple act of a father not treating a child with justice and equity and fairness and with love creates many different beliefs in this child's head. So as she grew up, she had issues with money because why? When I feel that I'm not enough, I'm not even worthy of a burger, then when money comes to me, I go, I'm not worthy of this money and push it away. So this person, what she did in her life was she noticed that logically she wants money, but that quiet belief that was made at that subconscious level says, I'm not enough, money is not available to me, I'm not deserving of money, I'm not even deserving of a burger. So what happens when she makes money in life? She does this, and then at a certain point, it kicks in and goes, hey, this is not familiar. We'll come back to that. You told yourself that you're not worthy, that you're not enough, you're not good enough. Even your dad didn't even appreciate you. And what it does, it has to let go of this money. And it does this because of that quiet software, that programming, that belief that was created many years ago. And so she did this many years in her life. She did this, money goes out, and then she loses the money. Money's out, okay? And every time she lost the money, she goes, what's wrong with me? I need that money, I want that money, but every time I get a certain amount of money, I need to let it go, or somehow it just goes. And she didn't understand this until she came to that session and she goes, now I understand that this belief that I created about myself that I am not worthy of this money because even my dad couldn't even, a simple single event could create an effect that lasted 40 years.
Wow.
So how many of us change our phone every year? We change our iPhone, we change our Samsung phone, upgrade our TV every 3 or 4 years. We spend $5,000, $10,000 upgrading our TV. But when was the last time we upgraded our beliefs and looked at our beliefs and what's driving our lives and the results we get? Not many. Not many people do it consciously because we've never been educated or trained in the rules of the mind and how the mind works and how we think about our beliefs. And so what happens in life? We do what most people do. We do social tag. You know, when you create a post, you create a tag, right? There's a hashtag and you tag something. So same thing here. When an event happens in our life, the event is not important. It's all the hashtags we create about this event. We go, this event, my dad doesn't buy me a burger, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I must have a burger every time I see it. So guess what? This person actually had weight issues because every time she saw a burger joint, she had to have a burger. And when she ate the burger, she didn't know why she wanted it or needed it. It was this quiet subconscious belief, you need that burger because it makes you feel worthy. It makes you feel better.
Yeah.
So eating that burger made her feel happy, but unfortunately, it also made her feel heavy and put on weight. So that strong emotional desire for love was so attached also to money. So when I look at people and they're having issues, so we're just giving an example of money here because it's universal. When we look at people who have issues with money in their life, it's almost always associated with love. When people feel they're not loved or they're not worthy of love or their parents was too busy working and didn't spend time with them, we create certain beliefs about that. Money is more important than me. Love is not available to me. And then they go through life with these beliefs unchecked, just running quietly. So the need for food is almost always, overeating is almost always attached to an emotional need, emotional belief. So when we eat something, we feel an emptiness. And we don't know why. We need to have that burger because when we eat it, just feel happy. So that...
You were talking about burger yesterday. I just had this crazy to have eggs, like bread with eggs. And I think I had so many of it, and I started talking to my friend. I said, I think I'm going through a crisis right now. I had 6 burgers yesterday. It just made myself and add. And I was like, what am I trying actually life is okay, but like everyone's having challenges, but I'm not able to see what is it I'm trying to fill with this overeating habit that I'm, having on past few days, because we are very watchful of our behaviors, and when you know this is not the norm, this is not how you usually do something, and suddenly it sprouts up very loud, right? It's asking me to pay attention. So yeah, just watching. Yeah, I think, yeah. Right. So this does it work only for money issues? So what are the other issues that can actually be?
So normally people have three key areas in their life that they have issues with. If you could group three core problems that people have, it's normally around I'm not enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not smart enough. So that's number one. And this thing about I'm not enough comes back to this feeling of worthiness. If someone you love so much doesn't spend time with you or looks down at you and doesn't give you that respect, we form certain beliefs about ourselves, a certain drive. So number one is I'm not enough. That's the key area. Second one is I'm different and I can't connect with people. And you find this a lot with connection issues. So people who maybe they're bigger in school, they get bullied, or they're very smart, intelligent, and they have big glasses, and they're different from the others in school, and people start to bully them or discriminate against them. So we form this belief, I'm different, and I can't connect with people. And this creates many issues further on in life. A lot of source of addiction, alcohol addiction, smoking, drugs, pornography addiction is all related. Most form of addictions is connected to a form of lack of connection. When I can't connect with people and I can't connect within, I have to connect with something.
Something else, externally, yeah.
So when I connect with that, I feel better. I feel worthy. So the third one is I want something really, really badly, but it's not available to me. So I want that burger so badly, but it's not available to me. I'm not enough. Or I want that money so much, but it's not available to me. Or I want love. I want to be loved. I want to be respected, but it's not available to me. So these are the three core areas you find a lot of people have issues with. I'm not enough. I'm different. I can't connect. I really want it so much, but it's not available to me.
Wow. So I think
So when we go back to our session today, you notice that we hit this theme several times today.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So, I don't know. For today, I'm just silent for so many reasons. I'm usually a person who talks so much, but I like you said today, the work was really, really intense, right? It's a long day because it's going to places where you don't really go to on a normal basis, right? So it's transformational. And now, what happens when we actually identify this limiting belief? What do we do? Okay, now we already know.
Okay, so let's look at that belief. If you don't mind, we'll take the example. Yeah, if that's okay. So let's look at that belief that my parents were so busy at work and they don't even have time for me.
Yeah.
And what does that little child do? That little child hasn't formed that strong logical mind. Oh, my parents need to work in order for me to have money to go to school. A child doesn't think that way. A child goes, work is so important, I'm number two. Work is so important, that means money is more important. So I don't matter. I am not enough. And that story that we create is what drives and forms the belief. And those beliefs is what takes us on in life. So when we went back today and caught that story and found that belief, what we can do is we go, next time that belief comes that I'm not enough or I'm not worthy enough, we go, stop. We tell the mind, stop, that's not me. I choose to feel worthy. I choose to be happy. I am enough. I am worthy of great things in life. Now, we go back to some of the key rules of the mind. The mind loves what is familiar.
Yes,
It does not like what is unfamiliar. So, familiar is, so when we create a certain belief in the mind, the neural pathways or the synapses link together. And when the neural pathways have linked, it's almost like an autopilot. I'll give you an example first of a habit. So when you learn how to drive, when you're first learning how to drive, the neural pathways are forming.
correct.
We haven't got it yet. It's still learning and it's struggling. But after a while, after 60 days, all the neural pathways just join and connect. And after that, we drive on autopilot. We close our eyes and we're driving. We can be thinking about something else.
Listen to music and we can do everything, and
And then we suddenly realize, oh, I'm here. How did I get here?
Yeah.
It's an autopilot. Yeah. So your beliefs are no different. So to give you an example, the mind loves what is familiar is like when you go to a forest, the first thing you'll do is you look for a pathway that's already been made through the clearing of the trees of the forest. You don't walk through that thorny area which has lots of thorns and might be snakes there, you're not sure. It's not familiar. You go to somewhere that's the pathway is already made, and that's that neural pathway that's already been formed. It's that clearing in the mind, and you go there because it's easy, it's familiar, even though it might not be good for you, but it's familiar, it's comfortable, and you think it's safe, although it might cause you a lot of issues, but you still go there. So the mind does the same thing. Until we find those beliefs in the session and we go in and we link certain behaviors and observe what's happening, the stories we make, the images, the thoughts, the pictures we create in our mind, and we uncover those beliefs, then we find where those beliefs in the past are recurring in our life. So that's when we did, okay, how did this past event lead to some of the issues in the future? And that's where you see, this is familiar, this is familiar. When this happened, I went there. Because why? The mind loves what is familiar, and it doesn't like what is unfamiliar because it's not used to going there. Okay. So when we want to change that belief, for example, that my parents didn't have time with me, I'm not worthy, we need to make that unfamiliar, which is I am worthy of love. I came into this world pure and a beautiful soul. The world loves me. Doesn't matter. The God put me here for a reason. The universe put me here for a reason, and I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of success. So every time we feel down, we go to the mind, we go, that's not me. Repeat that. That's not me. I choose. And you choose the beliefs. You choose the images. You choose the thoughts. Rather than let your mind continue to take you to that old feeling that I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. Every time you catch yourself saying that, or thinking that, you go, stop, that's not me. I choose to be different. I choose to be worthy of love. I'm worthy of that car. I'm worthy of that house. I'm worthy of things that I have. Okay, so the first one, the mind loves what is familiar, doesn't like what is unfamiliar. So when you want to change things, you have to make the unfamiliar, the new you, the new feelings, you have to make that familiar. And the old familiar you that you don't like, you don't want anymore, just let it go. So it takes about 60 days for a neural pathway or connection to be made. So when you repeat a certain thought or a certain affirmation or way of thinking, and you observe your mind, and you catch any limiting beliefs, and you change it over a period of time, you find that the neural pathways join and it becomes autopilot. But in the meantime, when you're trying to change your behavior, you do this. You go, hey, you're not enough. You're not worthy of that. This is familiar. Go here. And then you go, no, I want to go here. I'm worthy of this. There'll be this tug of war happening between the mind. And many people give up at this stage because they thought it's not working. But when you persevere and you realize it's an organic process, that thoughts also relate to the circuitry in your mind, and you're actually rewiring your mind. When you understand there's an organic thing happening, you persevere. You don't put a seed in the ground and expect it to give you a fruit straight away, correct? It has to go through that organic process. So your thoughts, as you change it, have to go through that similar organic process. The synapses has to, every time you fire a new thought and you think a certain way, you're firing those beliefs and the neural pathways are growing. So there's enough neuroscience now to prove this. And because of these recent changes, people are starting to learn, you can actually change your mind. It's called neuroplasticity. You can actually, though that is not permanent, that you can rewire it and change it. So our thoughts really can shape how the brain wires itself. Okay, so when you persevere, like we're going to go through another session tomorrow, when we're going to go and look at what were some of the limiting beliefs that form, how do we change it, and how do we observe whenever a negative thought comes and you catch it, you go, that's not me, I choose to be, and you move towards the belief that you want. As you persevere, I guarantee you in 2 months' time you'll be behaving a certain way, you go, hey, where's that voice? It's gone. That old Kartika is no longer, and you just be that new you. Okay. So the second rule, which is very related to the first rule, the pictures you make in your head, the words you say to yourself, the images and movies you make daily about your life, these form a powerful, permanent sometimes, actions of habit and eventually leads to your beliefs. So when you start observing the pictures you make in your head, the words you say to yourself, you notice what's happening in your life. So many people don't actively observe their thoughts. Their thoughts just run. Okay? So actually your thoughts is like, your mind is like a horse. And you are the rider. When you don't take control of that horse, it's going to go wherever it wants to go. It's just going to be wild. But as soon as you go, hey, I'm not going to think those thoughts anymore. Follow me. And you start guiding that horse and becoming the master of your mind and becoming a conscious observer of your thoughts, you take control of the horse. So the process we're going applies to this rule. The pictures you make in your head, the words you say to yourself, the movies you make, this shapes your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So if you don't like the results you're getting in life, observe what is it you're saying to yourself every day. When I make a mistake, do I go, oh, you idiot, why do you always screw up? And when you ask yourself a negative question, what is your Google mind going to do? Well, why do I always screw up? It's going to give you all the reasons why you screw up. Okay? But when you ask a different question, what can I do to make it better or to change this? And then it's going to give you all the reasons what you can. So even the questions you ask yourself are so powerful. So as you start observing your thoughts, your movies, the images, the feelings, then you start going, I don't like that movie. Many of us are Bollywood directors, but we don't know it. Every day we're making powerful movies. Some people are making horror movies about the future. Some people are making opportunity movies about the future, and some people they're just stuck. They're not making any movies, and they just doom and gloom. A lot of stress we see now is related to movies people are making about the future. If someone is so stressed about what's happening right now, observe what are they playing. If they're making a horror movie, stop those movies. Create better movies. Create movies that, this is a time I may be out of a job maybe, or I might be working from home, I don't have interaction for people. Instead of going, life sucks, this is miserable, I can't talk to people, I don't know when I'm going to get a job. Go, this is a wonderful time for me to relax, to be alone, to go in to reflect about myself, to take stock about what's happening in my life. So change the movie, change the words, change the meaning of what's happening, and you change your feelings, and then you change your actions and your habits and your results. So become this powerful observer of the Bollywood movies. You are the director of your life. When you take charge of your movie, you change your life. But when you don't take charge of your movie, it's going to create its own movie. It's going to create its own meaning. So it's not important what happens to us in life, it's the meaning, the movie that we make about what's happening. So you can have two people, two women, one is abused and both are abused when they're young in life. One goes through life saying, it's all my fault, I attracted this abuse, I dressed too beautifully, I'm not worthy, I'm always unlucky. The other could go, damn it, that guy, I'm gonna do something to him, I'm gonna put him in jail, he's really a bad person. I was just innocent, I'm a child. Same incident, two different stories. Two different results. One will go through life, having a hard time, being depressed, being miserable, playing a sad story about life. The other will go, hey, I create my life, I changed my life. I don't let the past, I don't let the past affect my present, and they change. Okay? So another powerful thing you see is about your mind is, and which is related to choice, our mind's job is to keep us safe. It is to protect us. It doesn't care if you're happy or not. So when we link pain or pleasure to a certain event, thought, feeling, or even people, the mind must protect us. I give you an example. A young child is loved by so many adults in their life. They're so loved. And then here comes an individual, maybe an uncle or relative, and this uncle betrays this trust and abuses this child or does something to this child. And this child goes, my God, the people I love hurt me. Based on the people I love hurt me. But that's just one person. So now you have two beliefs running. You have the first belief, which I love all these people in my life, and the people who love me also hurt me. So here's this young person, they've linked love to pain.
Got a call.
Sorry.
Yes. Here's a young person.
Okay, so here's a young person who's linked pain to love. Okay? And because of what happened by this action of this one person, she's linked pain to love. And now the mind goes, hey, you've now told me that love equals pain. So somebody says they can't hear clearly. So you now told me that love equals...
Any questions? Sorry, if any of you have any questions, also please feel free to, just ask Riaz, and we'll try to even answer that as we are going. Yeah, please go on. Are you able to hear clearly now, Hema? Is it better now? Speak, Riaz.
So this young child's now linked pain to love. Okay? Now, what does the mind do? The mind gets the signal, okay. The mind's job is to protect her, and she's now go, pain, love equals pain. So guess what happens in life? She grows up in life, she attracts beautiful men, she gets into beautiful relationships, and then at a certain point, the mind goes, hey, love equals pain. I need to protect you. And guess what happens? The relationship is sabotaged. You say something wrong, or we don't attend certain functions, we don't go, and then we push people away. And you see a lot of people do this in relationships, or they're attracted to people who cause them pain because that's familiar.
Yeah, because you want to replay and you want to create the movie that is so strong to you. So what you have noticed growing up, which is familiar to you, you kind of recreate. This makes a lot of sense to me because I read once somewhere, you kind of will attract the partners into your life which were similar to the pattern of the relationship of what your parents had happened. So if your parents were loving, joy, and there's just so much of love, you tend to kind of, attract that kind of partner, and you will also blossom into that kind of relationship. But if you are from a very dysfunctional, abusive, not liking each other kind of relationship, and if you are like right now aware, I think, and the beautiful thing is that that ever in history, I don't know, maybe I'm just saying this for myself, but I think more and more people are becoming aware about, okay, you know what, that pattern does not have to, it is happening right now, but hey, let me now look at it, pay some attention and make a shift. I feel like the people from at least before my generation and all that, they were not even in the state of awareness. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself, maybe other people different. Like they were not even able to look at it at that level of awareness. Is that something that you notice on a general base or?
Yeah. So this is quite, and only recently, because of advances in neuroscience, and people used to say the mind is so complex, it's difficult to change. But now it's becoming easier. You understand few key things, and you can shift your life very quickly. And just by understanding these three things exactly. The one, the pictures you make in your the mind loves what is familiar. It doesn't like what is unfamiliar. So if you don't like what is happening in your life, observe what is familiar. And change it. Try something that is unfamiliar. Walk into that new pathway. Create the new pathways. And do different things. Say different things to your mind. So then go back to the second rule. The pictures you make in your head, the words you say to yourself, the movies you make about your life, have a powerful impact on your thoughts, your feelings, and actions. So observe those thoughts. Observe the movies. Observe the images. And the third one is, be very careful what you link pain or pleasure to. Because when you link pain to something, your mind must protect you from it. Okay, so I give you another example of money, right? So when we're in our session, a lot of issues around pain and money were interrelated. There's so much pain because of what other people use money and how they treated others that were linked to money. And so the mind goes, wow, people with money, they do these things that are dishonest or they're not trustworthy and they use people because of money. So then you go, money equals pain. Money equals lack of trust. Money equals dishonesty. Money equals abuse and control and manipulation. So when you start linking this, money equals all this, guess what happens when money comes into your life? What must the mind do? As soon as it goes up, it goes, hey, you told me money is pain. Money is this, money. Okay, so once you've identified this, you find what it is, the belief that's triggering some of these issues, like we did today. We observed that money is linked to so many of these different things. Then we go, anytime we catch that belief that, rich person must be distrustful. Oh, that person made so much money, must be driving BMW. They must have been dishonest. Anytime we catch them thoughts, we go, stop. That's not me anymore. Money is just energy. It's neutral. It's the motive behind what people do with money that shapes their character and their results. So you change your feelings around money, you change the movie in your mind about money, and you go and you say, thank you for all the money that's come into my life. Because somehow, somewhere, the universe put you here and it's paid for everything that you have. Doesn't matter who paid for it, but somebody paid for it. And whatever the story you said about money to yourself that's linked pain to, you can now unlink it. And you unlink it by creating new images. You go, oh, thank you for all that's come into my life. Thank you for even this person who, although they used me or manipulated me, but still that money came from them and I used it for good. I used it to study, to get a better life, to improve myself. So when you start changing the story, your feelings start to change. Then your mind goes, hey, she's grateful about money now. She likes what's happening and what happened to money in the past. So maybe now she likes money, I will help her and I will help her get more money. Because now she told me money is good, it helped me get a better education, it helped me change, and you change the story, you change the movie, you change the picture. And now you will change the results. So guess what? Money is going to come flooding into your life now because you started changing the results. Of course, you need to take action in your work. You need to work, have the right vehicle for your business to grow your business. But no matter how good your vehicle, if you haven't changed that feeling that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, money is evil, if we haven't changed that thought or that belief, whatever comes to us, we're going to push it away because we've linked so much pain to that certain belief or that money. Does that make sense?
A lot of this, totally lot of this. See, I'm aware about a lot of these affirmations. I've recognized, okay, where are the negative patterns, where I have noticed things are not working well. I've noticed it is not the first time, but somehow when you go deep into it, and you kind of tell yourself, what, I'm ready to look at it right now, that, okay, what, there, it happened, and it doesn't have to keep happening. Just because it happened then, it doesn't have to keep happening. And I always choose to, like you said, we always have these conflicting ideas. What about me? Money is so good. It's a vehicle to, if I have money, I also want to be to a belief. That is my belief of money. But here is another belief that, oh my God, if I have money, all these people are going to come, So this is the conflicting belief that we...
It's called the cross belief, yes.
The cross belief, right? So,
Yeah.
and this is like not an easy, although I write paragraphs of changing money belief every day. And I think it takes a lot of practice because it's been deep-rooted, no? It's a long process. And I think to a great extent, sometimes we have to feel the pain that we have to feel, go through that whatever is so, that we hold up or, stuck in our body and release it. And when we, for some people, maybe the release will be immediate, for some people it will be in layers. So depending on the magnitude of how creative we are with the story, I think, that's how their belief system. For some people, it may just be like one. Let's imagine a table. So for some people, it's just one, right? One leg. For some people, maybe 2-leg table. For some people, it could even be a 6-leg. So the belief is so strong. Yes, it takes time, like you said, but yes, being in a space of wanting to change and being around people who have the tools and the ability to guide you through this process makes it accelerated. Yeah, it basically transforms much rapidly compared to having to do it yourself is something that I feel.
Yeah. And sometimes we're in the problem. We can't see the problem because we're stuck in it. So we need someone to come from outside, and look inside.
Yeah, absolutely. So, is there any connection between spirituality and forming strong beliefs about ourselves and living a real life?
So let's take truthfulness, for example. When we behave in a certain way, we get certain results. When we're truthful about ourselves, about life and things, people trust us. People want to do business with us. They find us as reliable. So when we're truthful, we form this belief that if I'm truthful, I will attract customers, I can have better long-term relationships, better long-term results. Whereas people who lack trustworthiness find that they often get different kinds of results and they're sad. And they find out, why can't I keep on to relationships? Because people don't find them loyal and trustworthy. They go into one relationship, they go out, and because of that strong quality of truthfulness. When we observe a spiritual life, when we have a principle-centered life, and we have strong beliefs about this life, it creates a nice, smooth pathway. People say love is an itchy feeling you cannot scratch, because you cannot find love, you cannot see love, but you know when you don't have love or cannot receive love or give love, you feel sad. It's not something that we can scientifically prove yet. Just like electricity running through, you cannot see electricity, but you know it exists.
Yes, like Wi-Fi.
And love is the same. We need love to have a happy life, a good life, but if we are not honest, trustworthy, and cheat, how can we have this love? And this impacts our results in our life. So the beliefs we have about spirituality have a profound impact on our happiness. When we understand if I'm loyal and trustworthy, I will get certain results. When I'm honest and I do certain things in a way, when I'm kind and say kind things to people and don't hurt people with my sharp tongue, people feel attracted to me because they go, I like talking to him because he's not judgmental, he's not critical, he's not rough, or his tongue is not like fire, his tongue is like milk. So there is a nice quotation from the Baha'i writings. It says, a kind tongue is like a lodestone of the hearts of men. So it's like a magnet. A kind tongue is like a magnet to the hearts of people. It is the bread of the spirit. So you feed people's heart. It clothes the words with meaning. It is the fountain of the light of wisdom and understanding. So just one simple principle of having a kind tongue and living our life with having gentle words, being gentle in our thoughts. So normally a kind tongue first starts from us inside. People who are normally critical of others normally do not like themselves. So when you want to have kindness first, you must first be kind to yourself. When you're kind to yourself, when you're loving to yourself, when you don't beat yourself up when you make mistakes, and you're gentle on yourself, guess what? You're also kind, gentle, and loving outwards. Because when you want something to change on the outside, you must first change what's in the inside. If a person cannot feel love from within for themselves, they won't connect long-lasting relationships with people. If people hate themselves, they're not going to attract people who will love them. So if you don't like what is on the outside world, first question, what is it here I need to change first? And when you live a spiritual principle life,
there's something I want to ask you. So what if you can be kind and loving and gentle and spiritual and charitable and joyous to everybody around you, but to people who matter to you the most, you can't do that. That is the biggest challenge. You are usually only unkind to the people who are the closest to you, right? You don't go in the road and start screaming. At least not many of us do that, and it's always a reflection for me. Like, why is it that sometimes, of course, we mirror what we see as we're growing up, right? So if there was so much of chaos at home, I think you're gonna also kind of want to recreate and react the same way. How if I broke a glass, my mom is not gonna say, "Oh, such a good girl." No, it's okay. It's going to be things flying in the house, like, sometimes that also cannot do, So I noticed this something which happened very recently with myself, in fact, with my son. Something which I really treasured, although it has got no real, financial value, very emotional attachment, very strong emotional attachment to it. Color pencils, actually, And I told him very carefully, okay, listen, I've been keeping it for 5 years. It means a lot to me. It will mean a lot to me to take good care of it. I spoke to him very nicely. 5 days later, he was 14 of the 48 colors. It broke my heart. Like, literally, it broke my heart. And I was like, what's wrong with you? I started screaming at him, I recognized, I started screaming at him. You were really untrustworthy. Told you that you're supposed to take care of this. Even after telling you doing this means I don't know how to even trust you further. This was me saying in reflect. I could see that child just away. He started becoming like, this expanded superhero child started becoming so contracted. And then I caught myself, thankfully I caught myself a little bit after that, and I told him, you know what? I'm very sorry. Okay, I couldn't handle my emotions well. Okay, although I'm your mother, sometimes I also have emotions that I cannot deal well, and I was not very intelligent in doing that. It was not right of me to say that. Please apologize, right? I don't believe whatever I said is right, and I want you to process your feeling. Is something that I told him. I said, I need you to go and process whatever you're feeling. Come up with what you're feeling, and then let's have a discussion about it. So, about this, right? How do I stop myself from reacting? Like,
So the first is normally why we have two. We like to impress others on the outside. In the outside world, we're so caring, we're so generous, we give to them. But for the people closest to us, we expect them to understand. That's the biggest thing. We find that we think that the people closest to us will forgive us because they're supposed to be loving and loyal. But that's the sad case, right? We are kind to others, but we are not kind to the people who matter the most. And it's the people who matter the most that we should be the most gentle to. And I think many of us are guilty of this, that we are rougher and tougher on the people that we love and matter the most.
Yes, people who love the most as well, truthfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I found is with anger especially, anger is almost always an emotion or a hurt that is not released or is not expressed. So if you notice you had this outbreak of anger, right? Trace back this anger and go back and find what are some of the hurts, the issues in your past that you have not voiced out. So anger is like a group of school children. They all raising their hands, wanting the teacher to notice them and say, pick me, I want to say something, but the teacher just ignores them. And guess what happens? The students get angrier and impatient, and then they all shout out. So that's the same thing with anger. Anger are emotions or feelings that are not expressed, or hurt that is not expressed. So anytime you catch yourself angry, you ask yourself, what is the hurt that I have not expressed or have been keeping in there? So go back to those color pencils. What are some of the hurt that is related to things in my past or possessions? What is it that I'm angry about that is related to a hurt that I need to express? And when you can express that hurt, it's like the is the pearl in the oyster that is suddenly released, and the pearl cannot come out. And then you feel better.
Wow. Yeah.
So anytime you have an anger related to a hurt, and then express that hurt, and then let it go. And then you don't keep it in anymore.
Nice, when you're surrounded by people who speak kindly, who does, like that's exactly what you're coming back to spirituality, And I think it's extremely important to have kind of grounding in the, especially 0 to 7, because I am a person who never had that kind of spiritual grounding. So I always had the need to find something to hold on to because I didn't have anything to hold on to, and I feel that some kind of spiritual grounding definitely helps to, strengthen the belief system or even build that muscle, something that I feel, right? Okay, we have actually been speaking for 50 minutes now. Wow.
Time flies.
Okay, so I do this thing called the billboard exercise with every guest who comes on my show, okay, Riaz? So I do not know if you know about the billboard exercise. So now I am going to take you through a process of visualization. All right. So it's going to be a huge, big billboard. Okay, one in KL in front of KLCC, one here in Chennai, one in Brisbane, one in.
Say again. So I lost you this time. A huge what?
Billboard, big, huge billboard. Okay. Full LED, high tech, and it's in all the big cities of the world. And guess what? You are on the billboard. Okay. So now you have to tell me where are you? Okay. Who is with you? If there's anyone around you, what are you doing on the billboard? And what does the billboard say? What is the word that you written on the billboard?
Oh, wow.
You need to give a message.
Okay. So probably be in a billboard that is very visible to many people. And the people who are with me is my family, my loved ones, people who support me, who are closest to me, people who have been with me through all the easy, difficult, tough times, the good and the bad times, who are always there. And who never gave up on me, even though I might have made many mistakes or had created problems in life, but they were always forgiving and always there. So these will be the people who I have there. And I guess the message will be there is I tried. I did my best. I tried.
What a beautiful one, you know. And that anything else? Like I think where
So
are you? Give us a more visual one.
So where are we?
Where are you? In a beach.
Probably in a nice, beautiful mountain with nature, feeling peace and calm in that beautiful environment.
Okay, so by then everybody would have known who Riaz is, and we just said, I tried, and that, like, what is he trying to say? And then look for Riaz, all right. Thank you so much. So who are you really looking to serve in the coming years, Riaz?
So the ideal clients who normally come to me are individuals, business people who have issues in their work which is related to their beliefs and some of the beliefs about themselves, and especially people who often see patterns of behavior in their life that they go, what's driving these behaviors? Every time I try to create something new, it fails. People who recognize that they need to change or upgrade some beliefs in their life about themselves in order to create a better future.
And I think people who very which rings a very strong bell is that people who are in enough pain, if the pain is enough, then come. If not, without pain, there's no transformation, right?
Because then they're not ready to change. Yes, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any question that you'd like to ask me? Ask me a question.
No, I just thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciated the opportunity, and I hope I could have touched one person here and made a difference in their life, and whether the idea, the thought, or suggestion that they can use and change their life to become a better person. If that one person saw a difference, it would have been worthy and worthwhile.
You're going to be touching many people, and I know that you are miraculous. These things are going to, I pray to the Almighty so that you will be able to help many superheroes, many superstars to just go into their limiting beliefs and unleash their super potential. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you very much.
So much for doing what you're doing today. Because when you shift this one change maker or this leader, this leader will be able to do so much, and I think what you're doing is of a different magnitude altogether, and I thank you so much for your service. The world is more like kind, loving, and gentle. Right? Thanks so much for your time. I look forward to talking to you with you.
Okay.
Then our last thing, dance story now, the special guest. We are signing out with Riaz. Tata, bye-bye. Say bye.
Okay, see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.